As for state of Texas, I'm Phil Prazen. Governor Greg Abbott says he's ready to intervene in what he's calling a homelessness crisis in the Texas capital. Tents started popping up alongside streets and highways in Austin since the city relaxed restrictions on homeless camping earlier this summer. The goal is to avoid criminal penalties to being homeless. Those penalties can make it harder for people to transition out of homelessness, but the result has made homeless camps much more visible in Austin. People are complaining, and some want the governor to take action. Governor Abbott took to social media to lay out the problems many people have been complaining about, and then he gave an ultimatum. Listen.
Some businesses are struggling to keep sidewalks clear. Some homeowners feel threatened. Some homeless are interfering with sidewalks, with streets, and with rights-of-way. Feces and used needles are accumulating at alarming rates. Let me tell you, if Austin does not fix its homeless crisis by November the 1st, I will unleash the full authority of every state agency to protect the health and safety of all Texans.
So what does that mean? Here are some real-world specifics that could come from this if Governor Abbott activates the state agencies. The Texas Department of Transportation could move people and property from underneath major highways like 290 and 183. The Texas Department of State Health Services could quarantine certain areas in the name of public safety and health. And we could see this at places like surrounding the downtown Arch homeless shelter. Also, troopers for the Texas Department of Public Safety could arrest people for trespassing on private property or for violating health and safety laws. None of that has happened yet. The governor sent a letter to Austin Mayor Steve Adler laying out his concerns and that November 1st deadline. The mayor's response? Bring it on. He's glad the governor is expressing willingness to step in with state resources.
I look at this letter from the governor and he points out that the Health and Human Services Commission might very well be able to bring us assistance in this city and all Texas cities. And I want you to know how much I welcome that offer of support and assistance.
Mayor Adler acknowledged the complaints about homeless camps, but he made it clear that city laws that address many of those complaints are still being enforced.
So there is no place in this city for anyone on our streets or anywhere that is violating the law. And we need to make sure that we are enforcing our laws as against them and everyone who violates the law in our community. But someone who is homeless and violating no law, presenting no risk, no hazard, not aggressively confronting, not blocking anybody's reasonable use of public safety is not somebody that we should put in jail or threaten to put in jail or ticket or threaten to ticket. We should get that person help.
Austin is not the only city in Texas facing problems with the issue of homelessness, but it's the one the governor is focused on. Austin's homeless population is growing. Point-in-time counts from 4 years ago showed 1,800 people experiencing homelessness in Austin. This year, that number topped 2,200 people. We wanted to know how Austin's number compared to other cities in the state. Eugene Cho takes a closer look.
People who don't have a place to call home.
We see it every day.
In Austin, that number increased by 5% since last year. It's a much smaller increase than in Dallas. But Austin keeps getting compared to its neighbor 90 minutes south.
Overall, the numbers of homelessness have drifted downward despite our population increasing.
In San Antonio,
the new iteration of how we handle homelessness services began in the mid-2000s when really it was the business community.
Their resource center, Haven for Hope, cost about $100 million to build. More than half of it came from private donors. In Houston, the federal government offered help.
In a period of time from 2008 to last year, Houston, with financial resources from the federal government, received more than $20 million every year.
Just 8 years ago, Houston had more than 8,000 people who were homeless. But between 2011 and 2016, they saw a dramatic decrease in homelessness. Front Steps operates the Arch downtown. Its executive director told us Austin hasn't had as much resources to work on reducing homelessness.
We get very little from the state by and large, the majority of our funding for the city, for the Arch shelter, is the city.
Less than 1% of the state budget helps Austin with homelessness. But now that the spotlight is on,
We've got to look at the state, we've got to look at the federal government, and we've got to look at private donations.
Eugene Cho, State of Texas.
Houston used the millions in funding it got to focus its efforts on housing the most vulnerable people first. In Austin, the Arch is now changing its model. It's straying away from being an emergency shelter to a place where case managers can help connect people to housing. Statewide, Texas has seen a rise in homelessness. The federal government's latest count showed a more than 7% increase from last year. The amount of people experiencing homelessness in Texas is the 4th largest. Only California, New York, and Florida reported higher estimates. But the question is what's driving the rise, because the same report shows Texas experienced declines in the number of homeless veterans, the number of homeless families with children, and long-term. Since 2007, officials found homelessness in Texas dropped by more than a third.